Good morning. It is the 21st of May 2020 and I am going to hike up to Rich Gulch today. You can see the sign right there. Historic mining district, 6 miles of trails. We're not going to go that far. There's a car over there. This is the Upper Britt parking lot. And down here is the Peter Britt that is not going to open up this summer, which they would be opening up in the first week of June, and it's not going to happen because of the coronavirus crud. So you can, if you don't know what Peter Britt is, you can look that up on Google, find out all about it. So anyway, we're going to head up here today to Rich Gulch. This is the access road to the Rich Gulch area and the reservoir, the second Jacksonville reservoir. We just saw the first Jacksonville reservoir in the Rogue River Valley train video that I did last week or something. You see a hiker coming down the trail already. It's pretty overcast today, but I think it's going to be okay. So I grew up here in Jacksonville in the 1970s, and if it wasn't for the second Jacksonville reservoir up here, about a quarter mile or so, this place would have been totally abandoned. There was no hiking trails or nothing, just what remained of the old Rich Gulch hydraulic mining area. Whew. And now it is part of the Woodlands trail system. And you can see here, National Register of Historic Places. The trail is moderately steep, not too bad. This part of the road was maintained as well as it is now back in the 70s because the city would have to come up here and maintain the reservoir. There's now 2 reservoirs up here, the old one and the new one, and as you can see there's a power line overhead heading to the reservoir area. So I've been up in this area 20 or 30 million times throughout the 70s. As a kid, we would come up here and ride bicycles and play when we were old enough, so I know this area very, very well. Have a lot of real fantastic good memories up here, so I'll share some of those along the way as we go. A little out of breath right now. It's hard to tell, but this is actually pretty steep here. Oh, looking back down the trail I just came up, you see off there in the distance is Medford. That's where I live. Do a little bit of zooming here. This is just $100 kit lens I bought for this Canon. It's doesn't do much, but it does a little bit. Anyway, that's where I live, way down there. Dogs must be on a leash and under control. Well, I don't have to deal with that today because I forgot and left Rover at home. I don't have a dog, but if I did have a dog, I would have brought him up here because he would have loved this for sure. So you can see we're just about to round the corner here. This is the new reservoir and it's pretty big. So they had to build this second reservoir sometime in the 1990s. Originally, this was never here. And now we're up here on the little bend. Here is the new big gigantic reservoir. And here is the old original one from probably back in the 1950s. And here is the original reservoir. You can see it is very dinky. I'm assuming this is still in use, but I really don't know. So over there on the hill, try to zoom in on it, is the big granite pit up there, which is no longer in use now. But my grandfather owned a granite pit below that we can't see from here. So the first time I remember coming up here must have been 71, 72. I was 11 or 12 years old. And the Children's Festival was going on down there at Britt, about a quarter mile away. And I had snuck up here during the event and I just wanted to follow this road, and I got up here and I saw this great big thing, and I thought, what in the world is that? I didn't even know. And I remember being really scared and running all the way back down there, because that was like a million miles away. It might have been 69 or 70. I don't remember for sure. So from here, this is as far as the city maintained road went. It went right to here, and then they had a turnaround that went through those trees. You can kind of see what's left of it there. It went through those trees and then rejoined the road down here. That's so that when they would bring big trucks up here to work on the reservoir, they would be able to easily turn them around right here. So then from here on, we just had this little cow path of a road that was all washed out and real crummy, and you could tell people would try to drive their trucks and cars up there and would often get stuck. Got a great story about that later on. So it was no longer maintained after this, and this was all abandoned up here, but it was just public property, so it was never marked no trespassing or anything. So I'm going to be, once I get up here so far, I'm going to be looking for 2 old fences, because apparently there was cattle up here at some time, late 1800s, early 1900s, and there were the remains of 2 old wire fences. I'm going to see if we can find those today.